there, it's Vicki McCarthy from Aussie Stampers. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have a designer series paper giveaway, and the paper that I'm giving away is this gorgeous Venetian romance. Here is a little swatch book which shows you the patterns that are in that paper pack. You will be receiving the 12 by 12 inch paper, and here is the pack of paper here. And I'm also going to throw in a ribbon share. And the ribbons you'll be receiving are 1 metre each of the following: chevron ribbon 3/4 inch in basic black, cherry cobbler, calypso coral and island indigo. Then the trim stretch ruffle ribbon 3/8 inch at crisp cantaloupe and coastal cabana. Taffeta ribbon 1/8 inch for Bermuda Bay, melon mumbo and pumpkin pie. So I'm going to throw those in as a bonus, and those two items are part of the giveaway. And you'll need to stay tuned till the end of the video to find details for that. Here is our project today. This is a Lilyanne locket box that I created for my Lilyanne lockets. You can see inside I have a floating locket, and inside the locket there are some little charms. And you open the locket on the side, pop out the charms. Excuse that ink on my hand. I do have inky fingers because I've been completing this project for you. There are 3 charms inside my locket, but you have a lot of different charms to choose from. I've chosen Silver Heart, Live, Love, Laugh, and a little pink flower for today. And that little pink flower was the inspiration for this box that I've made for you. Pop those back inside the locket, and you'll see that there are 2 really strong magnets that will hold the locket shut, so you can open and close it whenever you want to, and change out your charms as you want. So this is a Lilyanne locket, and I do have a Lilyanne store. If you look in the link below, you will see the link to that store. These are the tiny lockets. I took a photo of these with my camera. So here's the project for the box. Start with a piece of cardstock, 8 5/8 inch by 9 3/8 inch. You're going to score it portrait at 3/8 inch, 1 3/8 inch, 2 3/8 inch, 6 1/4 inches, 7 1/4 inches, and 8 1/4 inches. Then turn it to landscape and score at 2 1/2 inches, 3 1/2 inches, 4 1/2 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches. And that's all your scoring done. Now I'm bringing in a template so that you can see this a little more easily. And I'm going to mark out the squares, or rather the rectangles, that need to be cut away. And this is going to form the shape for the base of the box. So there are 2 large rectangles and 2 smaller rectangles that need to be cut out. And I'm going to bring my template back in again, and you can see that there are 4 small rectangles again on these very tiny areas here that need to be cut away as well. So I'm just going to cut out those 4 tiny rectangles on the short sides of the box. Just cut those out with your paper snips. I'm using rich raspberry cardstock here, by the way. Now if you look at the template, you'll see that there are some slits cut into the box, or some flaps. 8 flaps in all, and they're very simple to cut away. All you need to do is to turn your box this way and cut up to the fold lines on each side, just like you would in a normal box, and you're creating some little flaps there, and these are going to tuck in so that your box will hold its shape. This is a really sturdy box, and it's a really professional looking jewellery box, so you could use this for any of your pendants that you would like to perhaps showcase at a market stall or in a shop, or if you're gifting them to a friend, as I am. Cut away those little wedges on the edge, and then I'm going to put a V point between the flaps, just in the center of the flaps. And I want the outside of the flaps to remain as they are, because that will keep the box really rigid and sturdy. Now that's all your cutting done. All you need now is to burnish those score lines with your bone folder. Give them a good burnish all the way around. I'll be talking to you a little bit later about what Liliane lockets are. I do have a Liliane locket shop, and the link is below this video that you can have a look at and go and visit. Turn over your box and fold the flaps on the outside in the opposite direction on all four sides. And that's all your scoring and folding done. And now all you need to do is to assemble the base of the box. And you'll see how it folds into itself here. And if you were to look at a box of matches and take out the matchbox inside and empty it out, this is exactly how a matchbox is constructed. You're going to fold that piece over and inwards and tuck it down flat. And that's the interior of your matchbox done. Now for the insert. Here's the template, and you're going to cut a piece of 3 3/8 of an inch by 4 3/4 inch cardstock, and then score it at 3/8 of an inch on all four sides. Now bring in your paper snips, and you're going to cut a wedge out of each of the four corners, and this will help the insert to fold neatly. If you don't know what I mean by a wedge, you're just going to cut a square away like that, and then wedge the edges. Just like that. Again, bring in your bone folder and burnish on all four sides. And you'll see the box start to come together at this point. So I've popped my locket into the top of the box. And you can see the little charms that are inside it. Very, very sweet. These Liliane lockets are really precious. Now you can purchase these from my store. As I said, they are also coming to New Zealand in July. So if you'd like to sell these or buy these in New Zealand, then please contact me in the links below. We need to secure this locket into the box. So we're going to use the itty bitty punch, the small circle, right in the center on the fold line. And the purpose of this is so that you can pull that top of the box in and out to get your locket out. Now the next thing you need to do is secure the chain so that it doesn't slip around inside the box. So bring in that same itty bitty punch and punch out 2 more circles in the corners. The next bit is really easy. You just bring in your paper snips and snip away a diagonal into the corners. And this is going to allow your chain to sit neatly inside the box. Now it's starting to look like a locket box, but the locket is still moving around. So we want to secure that so that it doesn't move. So I'm bringing in a paper piercer, adjusting the length of the chain to where I want it to be. And I'm going to just poke 2 small holes on either side of the top of the locket there. One there and one off to the side. And you can see what I mean by those 2 small holes. I'm bringing in some black wire, some black florist wire, but you could use needle and thread for this process as well. Excuse me. And I'm just going to push that through the back. And give it a good twist. Now that looks pretty good, but the chain is still going to move around. So what you need to do now is to adhere that at the back of the box with some Scotch tape. And in fact, I found that washi tape is a better solution for this. The Scotch tape will work, but the chain is quite slippery. So it doesn't get a good grip on the Scotch tape. So you'll see what I do here is I sort of crease that with my nail so that it's really holding onto the chain. But washi tape holds this even better if you have some washi tape. You see that's not going anywhere now. It's beautifully packaged. Now for the lid, we're going to cut a piece 4 inches by 8 inches, score landscape at 1 inch, 1 3/4 inches, 4 3/4 inches, and 7 1/4 inches. And then burnish all those fold lines. Now I'm bringing in some sticky strip, and I'm going to put some on the underside of the wider edge and on the top side of the narrower edge. And this will help the box come together. And I'm using sticky strips so that we have a really good solid box. I'm going to use the petite petals and the Flower Shop stamp sets. And you'll notice on these stamp sets they have 2 flowers that are exactly the same. They're the ones we're going to be using. Bring in some Versamark, an embossing buddy. And your Versamark pad goes onto the stamp, or the stamp goes onto the pad. It depends which way you prefer to do this. I like to do it this way. Stamp on the larger flower in the top section and the smaller flower in the bottom section, just off to the left-hand side, just below that large flower. And I've got some silver embossing powder. This looks so lovely when it's embossed. Pour that on, give it a bit of a flick. And when you're embossing this with your heat tool, I like to start on the back of the cardstock, just so that it doesn't buckle. It also gets the paper ready for the heat. Look at this silver, isn't it lovely? The way that just, oh, it's so magical. It just suddenly becomes a beautiful, shiny silver flower. Just gorgeous. Now bring in some scrap cardstock in the rich raspberry. Again, use your dust buddy. And more Versamark ink, a little bit more silver embossing powder, and repeat the process with your piece of scrap cardstock. So you're going to cut out this smaller petite petal, and that's going to go on the box as well. Use the petite petals punch, which coordinates perfectly with the stamp set. Very, very pretty. Fold that up with your fingers so that it has a little bit of a curve. Now we're going to assemble the box. Take off the layer of the sticky strip and carefully make sure that the box goes together really neatly, so there are no edges showing. And now for the smaller flower, I'm going to use a large rhinestone for the big flower, and the smaller flowers are going to get the large rhinestone from the smaller set. So the small set has small, medium and large. We're using the large from the small set on both of those flowers. And I'm just going to curl that up just a little bit more so it will sit up. Using half a dimensional. Now, if you didn't want to use a dimensional here, you could use a glue dot. Pop that onto the box. And there's the top of the box finished. And so this is how it looks when the box is complete. And you can just pop your Lillian locket inside. What a great colour combination this is with the silver and the pink in the locket. It's very, very pretty. Love that rich raspberry cardstock. If you're interested in buying one of these lockets, you can have a look in the link below. Please remember to leave a comment at the end of this video, and I will choose from amongst the comments, and that person will receive the designer series paper and the ribbon share. So good luck in the competition. I hope you enjoyed that video today. If you'd like to see more of the Lillian lockets, just go down to my shop, which is in the link below this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Remember to leave those comments. Bye.